I'm asking a question. I'm asking a question. Yes. What about A plus B equal to AB?
This is also a measure.
It's also measure.
Yes, please. Sometimes the companies, something like the law companies, lawsuits, when they come together, sometimes they don't change to become a new name. They add maybe like Airtel Tigo, something like Airtel Tigo. When they came together, they didn't change the name, but they combined the two names together.
What is it? And then, hello. Sorry for the interruption. Talk to me again. One was talking. Should talk again. I'm listening.
Please, me again.
Yeah, you again.
Okay. Okay, so I was saying that A plus B equal to AB is the same as merge because some company like Airtel Tigo, so when they came together, they didn't change the name, but instead they use both names like Airtel Tigo. So it's all the same as measured, but sometimes some companies will change the name to bring out with a new name.
Okay, so it is not always the case that A plus B give us C, right?
Yes, please. Yes, please.
To some extent, A plus B can also give us what?
AB.
Companies, let's say company A merges with company B, they form C, right?
Yes, please.
Sometimes when A merges with B, they maintain their names. They become AB.
AB, of course.
Like the example that you have cited, like Airtel Tigo, right?
Airtel Tigo, yes.
You have a company that has changed the name after merging. Marks in the class. You know of a company that has changed its original name to a new name after merging. I'm asking a question. After A and B coming together, they change the name to a different name. All right, so if you go and look for companies that merge and change their name, that is your assignment for the day. So are going to evaluate the impact of mergers and acquisitions on supply chain.
Sir, please, how many
All
companies?
measures and I just asked a question. Yes, if you know the answer, just tell me. Then you get it. Andy.
Sir.
Andy, yeah,
Sorry, didn't hear the question.
It's not a written assignment, right?
Oh, okay.
I'm asking that. Do you know of companies that change their name after merging? After merging, you of any company that has changed their name, their original name, after they've merged with other companies. This one's names of that have changed their name from the original name after merging, coming out with a new. That is why we said A plus B can give birth to C. That is a new company. You get it? We go with existing what? Existing workers, structures are the same, but in terms of name, it has been changed. Benjamin, your hand is up.
Yes, please. Sir,
Okay.
your question, I quite remember around 2017-18, when they collapsed some of the banks in Ghana.
Of the banks? Okay.
Yes, they merge all the banks and they give it a different name by Consolidated
CBG.
Bank of Ghana. Yes, CBG. So that is, I think, classical example of the.
That's a classical example of merging. Okay.
Yeah.
But I want to ask a very simple question. After they've merged, what happened to the employees? What happened to the employees? What happened to the buildings and everything? What happened to them? If you can share or throw more light, if you have a fair idea on
that. I think some of their properties were left behind. Not all buildings that they were able to absorb when they opened the new banks. And in my mind, I think some of the employees too might be employed. Others might not get that opportunity to enroll in the new banks, of which they will lay some of them off. But if they are lucky, some might get that opportunity to work with the new banks. Yes, please.
That is a classic example. Thanks for sharing. All right. So by the end of this lecture, you should know the definition for measures and what acquisition. You should know the types of measures and or acquisition. Why companies going for what measures or acquisition, the impact that measures and have on the supply chain. And the last but not the implications of regulation for measures and what acquisition. So, like you have already said, some people have defined it, a layman's definition, by saying that measures and acquisition is what? The coming together of what? Two companies to form a new company. And it's based on what agreement? It's based on agreement. They come together to form a synergy. That's why form a synergy. They collaborate based on what? Measures and acquisition has become a popular strategy for organizations to expand their operations around the globe. So companies, they are not performing to the level that they expect. Then we are not going to, they are going to benchmark. It's a different thing from benchmarking. Benchmarking is where for a top class or a superior performance, tap into whatever they are doing to your advantage. That is benchmarking. But measures, since you want to expand or you want to do well, or you also want to go into collaboration with some other company. That is why mostly some companies, they do. It's a popular strategy that they take to be able to expand their operations. You get it? But you get it proper. So when people foresee that they are lacking certain things, they go into measure. You get it? When they see that they don't have the capacity, they don't have the resources, they go into measure. You get it? Like Airtel and Tigo merged. It's not that Airtel was not doing well or Tigo was not doing well, but because of certain things that Tigo might have in Airtel that propelled them to came into agreement that we are going to use your facility. We are also going to use our facility. We are also going to use our resources. We are also going to use our resources. So based on that agreement, they come into what? To a congruence. And through that, using what? The resources of both parties. It's a very, very, very strategy that businesses recent times have undertaken. You get it? So mergers and acquisition strategy for after the financial crisis that broke out August 2000. When the financial crisis came, companies were not able to stand on their feet. Companies were laying off workers. Companies were not performing to the standard that they are supposed to perform. They decided to go into measures. They get it? Because if they stay in isolation, it might equally what? Collapse their business. Bring whatever they are doing into administration. They don't want that thing to happen. So they merge with companies that were performing in terms of financial objectives. You get to balance scorecard, you understand that. So when the financial issue became an issue in August 2007, companies saw the need to strategize. They saw that merging was one of the strategies that they can use to be able to revive their company of strategy and plan. In terms of anything can equally enhance the performance of their organization. So that is a core strategy used by, and these are all commentaries. So a survey done by Thomson Reuters Corporation in the full year 2010 reviewed that global mergers and acquisition 22.9 from 2009. So from 2009 to date, I know that recently will increase that percentage from 22.9 to of which have not taken time to do that research. And I know that if you do that research, you realize that it has graph, it has grown from that 22.9% 2009 to a certain height. Because companies are still finding it very difficult to stand in isolation. They are finding it very difficult to perform on their own without necessarily relying on others. A typical example, when it comes to the classroom, there are some people within your class who finds it very difficult to stand independently. They have to rely on others. They have to team up. They are now forming what? Studies and so on. So, yes?
Sir, please, some needs approval to join the class. Please, can you approve them?
Andy.
About 6 people have texted me now that they need approval to join in.
Because the class starts at what? 3:30, right?
Yes, sir, 3:30.
I've admitted them. And I think that the limited number that you can take is 100.
Yes, we are not up to 100. We are 82.
A and B. Or much more.
Pacho da biomunchemo. Baako.
Watch it.
There be omu nyanche mu.
Okay,
Say na
so let's go.
so enye cliff breaky sa.
What's the maker? What's it?
Yet, but in the course of say wakasa no a breaky na tone is our form. Ti enhyɛ da nte words ni. Yeah.
Yeah, so now the name you using so
Sound name back clear cry.
Professor. Yeah, please. So much. I don't know.
Okay.
Okay. Andy, what?
Sisi ada say kakra.
Andy.
Sir. Hello, sir. Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. We can hear you now.
So, like I don't know the percentage that it has gotten now. Because after the time that I was preparing the lecture was 22.9 from 2000. That was the strongest year that emerges in our position since the crisis that took place in August 2007. You get it? Because when companies are facing financial issues, it becomes very difficult for them to stand on their feet. So as a matter of fact, they need to merge with other companies so that they can also lift them up. You get it? That is exactly what happened at LT.
No problem. All right.
And with that merging, they have been existent for years. And I think that now it has gotten to a stage where they have formed a new company. Don't see that merging there. But merging just to a certain level, whereby that both parties have realized that we've gotten to the level that we want to, then they flip their separate way. You get it? That is how some companies they do. So a merger is a business transaction. Two or more companies, like what the gentleman said, combine their operations and that has to form a single entity. That is issue. So when they come together, it becomes a unit. Because A merging with B becomes one. But someone will also challenge this definition by also saying that when A merges with B, it becomes what? AB. So becoming a single unit in a sense that their name will change. But someone will challenge this by also coming out with a different definition. But what we know is that when two or more companies come together, they are going to combine their operations. And with operations, we are talking about their machines, the equipment, the workforce, and other resources available to be able to function effectively and efficiently. So it involves consolidation of our businesses, usually of similar size, with the objective of achieving strategic goals, such as expanding market, increasing efficiency, diversifying product or service offerings, or gaining competitive advantage. So that's why companies go into measures. So if you can recall, say that they go into measures because they want to expand their operations. By expanding their operations, they are expecting that at the end of the accounting year, they make profit. They gain enough market share. Market share in the sense that they get enough customers patronize their product, get enough customers that they can sell their products to, also render services to, and also increase efficiency because they are lacking something. They needed something to help them also care for. because they lack equipment, they lack functionality. Their operations are not streamlined in such a manner that will ensure smooth operation. By merging with other organizations or by merging with other companies to form a unit, they will be able to increase their efficiency. Learn from the others will also learn. Use their equipment. It might mean that you are lacking technology. You get it. So you imagine with B, and you know that B is advanced in terms of technology. You can also tap into that to increase your efficiency, to ensure that it's devoid of what bullwhip effect. By bullwhip effect, what I mean is that when it's so smooth, the information is flowing from one end to another without any contortion or distortion, there is no possibility of what effect. But when information is not flowing from one end to another, there is a possible effect that will disturb supply chain. We know that supply chain involves the movement of services, the movement of raw materials, information from one end to another. And from one end to what I mean is from the point of origin to the point of consumption to satisfy the demands of customers, according to Holland 1987. So you should know all these things. Get it? You should know the definition of supply chain, the reason why supply chain is in what exists. So when companies come together, that is the ultimate goal. That is effective. That is the reason why they come together, to increase efficiency. And sometimes they also want to diversify. According to ANSOF matrix, diversification is very key. Where companies foresee that this is what they are doing and it's not helping matters, therefore they want to shy away from their original product to a new product to be able to also get something in return. That is diversification. We need their own diet, but they also want to get into a different channel to see whether that area will be able to enhance financial possibilities. So diversification of services and products are also key. And the last but not the least is competitive advantage. It's very key. Competitive advantage is very, very key because the environment that the company is situated, the corporate environment is full of competition. If you don't have the accoutrement, you don't have the equipment, you don't have the machinery, you don't have the skill set, you don't have the resources to be able to compete, it becomes very difficult. Stay out of business. Companies have seen the need to engage with other organizations to be able to utilize these resources in competitive advantage. That is why Airtel and Tigo come together to fight other telcos. You get it? To win enough market. And when they come together, a whole lot of things, because they are able to win enough market, they are able to strategize, they are able to put things, reduce the lead time, reduce waiting time. They are able to streamline their operations. Their production line becomes effective and efficient. You get it? So they are able to win enough market, competitive advantage for their rivals. That is a typical example of measure. In a measure, the company involved, they agree. If there is no agreement, definitely they cannot pay into measure. See, nipa na person or don't go no say onye na adwen so obema do mabon dem fairly measure unless that they go through negotiation table. At the end of the day, they decide that come as a unit, they will consolidate their resources their workforce and everything together to be able to achieve success. All right. I have an example here. When company A and B, which are existing financial institutions, company A is a high street with a large commercial customer base. Company B is a building society or similar organization specializing in providing homes for domestic what. They realize that they can come together. And mind you, it's not always the case that two separate companies who are related come together. It is not always the case. It can be unrelated companies. That is a typical example of conglomerate measure. They are not related in any way, but they have decided to come together, merge. Whatever reason available, it can be market share or the market and the customer base. Be that A is having a customer base of which B is not having, and they are not similar or the same product. But because they want to enjoy customer base of A, B, or also can be. Why don't I go with that person and also improve operational performance? Both parties decide that a measure will produce benefits. And when two parties come to form a synergy in the sense that I can use my resources, I can also use your resources. It's more or less like things like ASU, it's a case to really by merging with schools. Where students can be taken, students from Sweden can also come to work, be able to come and like something like exchange program also. Yes, still also Erasmus, right? Okay. So that is how. Any question? Or simply put, measures to two companies come together to form a single unit or entity. Sometimes it can be A plus or to see where they form and they come out with a new company. Or sometimes they maintain the existing name, and to some extent they split when they both see that they have enjoyed whatever they want. They have attained that height, which they can stand in isolation. So that is, we have types of measures. We have types. We are limiting ourselves to 5. The first one is conglomerate measure. Second one is horizontal measure. Third one is market extension. The fourth one is vertical measure. The fifth one is product extension measure. We are going to take them one by one. But before then, if you have your question, you can ask me before I proceed. Any question? Any question? Talk to. Yes, Benjamin.
Sir,
Yeah, Benjamin.
I want to find out, is it possible that in case your business is not performing the way you want it, but you will not merge with the person or the other company, but you will try to use some of his brand to brand your own, to raise your business to another level. Right? Okay. Okay.
But these times you should be very careful. if I can also understand what you are saying clearly, can also say that can also use this strategy, can benchmark, right? Can benchmark. Since you don't want to go into measure and acquisition, you can benchmark where you can go to their sites or you can go there and learn one or two things from them. But if you are on the same line, it will be very difficult for you to gather information from them, get information from them, because they're all competing in the same environment. You are selling the same product, you get it, and you are selling to similar customers. Therefore, it will be very difficult for them to relay some information to you. Okay. So if it's an eternal rival, very, very difficult, unless it's a non-competitor. Get it? Who is selling a different product? It will be able to give you information to that effect, so that you can use them to your advantage and also change the narrative of your organization. And notwithstanding, if it is, let's say, in contrast, if it's competitive for a company that you have battling in the same field, the effect, they will not in any way give you what information. Because when they give you an information, they are going to add it and battle with them in the corporate environment. Is that clear?
Yes, please. I'm okay.
Okay, any other? Any other question? Let's quickly go to the types. The first one is conglomerate. And these terms you should find any other means or all possible means to understand them. Conglomerate measure is where two companies are not related in any way. They are unrelated. They are unrelated. A has a different path, B has a different path. But for whatever reason available to them, they have decided to merge. They have decided to come together. They have decided to work together. They have decided to do things in common. That is the reason why they have come together. Call it conglomerate measure. These companies are unrelated. Unrelated. What did I say? Unrelated. They are not related in any way. But they have decided to come together. And the reason might be that A is having the customer base of which B is not having. Therefore, B wants to merge with A so that they can enjoy customer base that A is having. Or it might be that A is lacking technology, and B is having advanced technology. Therefore, A wants to use the technology of B to be able to function, to be able to work effectively and efficiently. We see conglomerates. This went to companies operating in unrelated industries, merge to diversify their business portfolio. And it is always driven by a desire to spread risk, gain access to new markets, leverage existing resources and expertise. They are not related in any way. They are from different industry. But for some reason, they have decided to come together. In terms of their portfolio, they are different. They are not the same. You get it? And because they want to gain access to the market, want to spread risk, because someone cannot tolerate risk. Someone cannot treat the risk that the person is not having. The person cannot transfer the risk. The person can also not terminate the risk. Matter of fact, if the person is not able to tolerate the risk, there's a possibility for that person to share the risk by getting a third party. That is transferring the risk to the third party. That's all the risk to get it. So, and also leverage on what existing resources of those people and expertise. Or you're also lacking some expertise. But also go there, you learn one or two things when it comes to how they are doing their things to be able to personalize them, put them into what your organization. So conglomerate measure is where they are not related in, but for some reasons they have decided. Examples are a leading manufacturer of athletic shoes merges with a soft drink. They are not related. Be a shoes, be a soft drink. As a why are they going to merge measures? Why? Benjamin, be a shoes, be so your drinks. I don't know more your mind and say they want to merge.
So I think
do you get it? Yes. Because will be issues. Also your drinks. But then everybody would mean that many cycle in Kubo.
Wow. No, my and can you logic is because in your one company issue, the other company issue, they are nowhere related. But I don't know what will happen or what will trigger for such merging to happen. I don't know, it's because of the technology that some is using that they think.
For all you know, if you do your research, you realize that we have common kind of something that is within these two parties, like these two companies. Or if not a common so then I will say, no, I want to diversify, right? Or then I will say, I also want to diversify. So why don't I go to and learn something from it? Because since I want to go to diversification, you get it. So, no issues, be organized. Oh, okay. I'm into shoes. I also want to also diverse and see. By doing soft drink, help. Then I'll add it to my shoemaking. Or you can say that A is having the market. In the market, you are talking about the customers, the numbers. You get it. Why then? Why won't I also join forces with the drink company? That those people who are coming to buy drink, one way or the other, also consider buying what shoes. What we are what? One new company. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Good. That is the reality. And sometimes when you get to level 400, there's one course we call managing risk supply chain, where you look at the 4 things of what risk management, how to assess risk management using the 40s. Tolerate, treat, transfer, and terminate. You get it. Now some people cannot wholly consume risk, even though there's something called risk appetite. Develop that amount of propensity for risk, but no beyond containing risk. Therefore, some people decide to share the risk. That is why they are coming together, that they can share the risk. You get it. You transfer the risk to you, help them to solve. And the financial issues, and they know that you have that strength, have that capability and that capacity to what help them address their financial. That is why they are coming together and merging with party. And the next one is horizontal measure. And I think it was Andy came out. Is it Andy who said that definition that about Airtel and Tigo? Andy, Newana.
Same patch of W.
Okay, someone came out with that a definition and also came out with an example by saying Airtel and Tigo. And Airtel and Tigo, they fit here. They fit a horizontal measure. Is where companies of the same height, the same level, the same capacity, the same industry come together to form what? A unit. They combine their resources together, like Airtel and Tigo. They are in the same level. They are in the same industry. Airtel is in the telcos. Tigo is also in the telcos. They are in the same industry. When two companies operating the same industry at the same stage of production process combine their operations. The aim is that they want to create economies of increase market share and reduce what comes. So Airtel and Tigo decided to come together because they wanted to reduce what. That is what the slide is telling us, or the literature is telling us, that they want to reduce competition, also increase their market share. Because when A brings them their customers, they also automatically bring them. When they come together, it becomes what? Something big, organization. And the company, the environment that they find themselves in, without customers, it will be very, very difficult for you to run your business because customers are translated into what finances that is used to run the business. So say the Biana company or Koso company, the MTN, for instance, MTN customer base next they get it. So every year Biana will make it. I've not for once heard say MTN I make it. Unless I be disputed that fact, then they maintain. Or as I know that MTN every account year will declare what profit because of customer base. Maybe they are not able to achieve their target, but definitely they will get closer to their target. To them, it's a performance stretch for them. So people go into horizontal measure just to produce on a larger scale, enjoy economies of scale at a reduced or a discount. So that is why they go into horizontal measure and also increase their market share. If A plus B equals C, or if A plus B is equal to AB, definitely our market share will improve and also reduce competition among us. That is one thing. And a typical example is Coca-Cola and Pepsi beverage division coming together. That is also one of the examples. I know some of these examples. And we also have market extension measure. And this one too, they are in the same industry. It's more or less like the horizontal, but there's a slight difference. You get it? For the horizontal measure, they are in the same industry, same level. Their production process and everything are the same. They have decided. But here, this one too, they are in the same industry, but in terms of geographical location, they are not the same. So one company can be in Ghana, another company can also be in Togo, but they are doing the same thing. They are producing the same thing. For example, it can be shoes, it can be drinks, it can be anything. They are producing the same thing. But because they want to limit or reduce the level of competition, they decide to merge with that company. Because if they leave that company to come to that, travel from their location to your location, then competition will rise. Then you see hyper competition. That is where you see a whole lot of people using Machiavellian tactics and devilish kind of tactics to go away with to collapse other companies. So they are in the same industry, but in terms of geographical location, they are not in geographical location. One is company A is in Togo, company B is also in Ghana. You get it? So if company A is in Togo and company B is in Ghana, what happens? one year man pressure for customers. You get it? Or you know, that is coming with full force. Full force in the sense the new may be a modern, be advanced. The skill set is not strong. The workforce is not strong. The resources was structured, modernized building infrastructure, and so on and so forth. They will not allow you to come to where I am so that I come and compete for what customers or to just win enough market for yourself. Therefore, why don't I merge with these companies that reduce the level of what competition and extend our asset what new customer base? Is it clear? Is it clear?
Yes, please.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Benjamin, your hand is up.
So I was responding that is clear.
Yeah, you get it. So I can ask you a very simple question. What is the difference between horizontal measure and market extension measure? You get it? And the difference is the geographical location. Because horizontal measure, they are the same level, the same industry. They have come together, they are operating on the same. And the market extension measure, they are also doing the same thing. They are in the same industry. They are in the industry like shoe industry or drink industry or beverage. But here is the case that one is in Nigeria and one is also in Ghana. And since we don't want the one in Nigeria to come to Ghana to come and compete, try to merge with them to reduce to reduce competition and also increase extend our customer base. Is it clear? So now we can also send their goods here and we do the selling together. That is what market extension. And we have products. Products they are in the same what? They are in the same industry. But here they expand their product service. Allows them to cross-sell products to their existing customer base and benefit from economies of scale. This is economies of scale. Okay. So, like I was saying, this one, I mean, from central market. Of course, central market is maybe a more market, almost ties in Oko be home because media mini and your money be home. How did it me do a communion or tone your money be one out there? One to be a day. Every no. That is they are extending what? Yeah, they want to extend something. I'm coming. Right. Okay, so this type of measure of companies operating the same industry meant to expand their product or service offering. If I go to A and I don't get it, since B is my sister or whoever B is, I can tell you to go to B. B or now to B. You get it? And you are extending that. You are extending that to that of B. So this type of measure, companies operating the same, they are in the same industry, meant to expand their product. You need their that is that extension, and it's different from the market extension measure, where they are the same industry but from a different geographical location. But here, it allows them to cross-sell products to their existing customer bases and benefit from the piece of scale. So here, they're in the same industry, just want to expand their product or service offerings to the customer base that they have. Customer base now. Oba me hɔ na wɔnyɛ bi a metumi aka sɛ oba me hɔ no wɔnyɛ bi wakɔ ekɔ obi a na wɔnyɛ bi. That is how it is for product extension or measure. And the last but not the least is vertical That's vertical what measure. So here, let's say we want to produce mobile phone. Let's say we want to produce mobile phone. I can come out with the motherboard, but I cannot produce the screen for the other compartment. But B can also produce the screen, but cannot produce the motherboard and other compartment. But C can also produce the battery, but cannot produce the screen, the motherboard. Therefore, A plus B plus C come together and produce. That is vertical measure. So along the production line, each company is producing different what components or parts. But the end result is that we are going to produce one definite one. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Is it clear? Or it's not clear?
We understand very clearly.
Is it clear?
Yes, please.
Speak up, please.
Yes, please. It's clear. Yes, please.
Yes. Have you seen it? Here, vertical measure aims to streamline operations, improve coordination, you get it, and capture more value within the supply chain. So within the supply chain, since we don't have the capacity, don't have the operational capacity to be able to produce mobile phone on our own or in isolation. Therefore, we have to team up with other companies or merge with other companies that have the strength, that have the capabilities to help us what that need, which is mobile phone. So we look for a company that can help us. But the ultimate goal is to, that is the ultimate goal. But me as a company, to produce only the battery. Other companies can also produce the motherboard. The other company can produce the screen. So since the ultimate goal is mobile phone, therefore A plus B plus C will come together. Wow. So you see that there is coordination along the chain. In the course of production, companies are producing different components. At the end result, making mobile. These are the 5 types of what? There are other types, but these are the 5 types of measures that we are talking about. You get it? These are the 5 types. You have the vertical, we have the horizontal, you have the product extension measure, you also have the market measure, you have the conglomerate. And I said that the conglomerate is unrelated. Horizontal, the same industry. That extension measure, the same industry, but they want to expand, they want to cross-sell. Cross-selling in the sense that you can buy from, your customers can buy from this one. Their customer can also buy from yourself. I can also sell the products to them. Market extension, they are not the same geographical location, but that they are selling same. But because we want to reduce competition, we don't want to sit idle or sit somewhere and allow them to come to also. Therefore, we merge with. That's it. So these are the things. These are the types of measures that we have. Any question before we go to the acquisition? The definition for measure is agreement of 2 or more parties coming together, or 2 or more companies coming together to know a single unit. It can be be a company just that let's combine their name. They combine when they come together as a unit, they change their name entirely. But sometimes when they come together, they maintain the name. Like Ethel and Tigo, their names have not changed. But when you look at all banks coming together, but their name has changed. In terms of activities, I don't. Banking activities, they're fine. It differs from one bank to another. At the end is money transfer. Yeah, Iska. Or yeah, get it. So these are the types of. Let's go to acquisition. Acquisition is the purchase of an asset, such as a plant or division or an entire company. So you see some company going into what? Some companies have been bought. This is it's a clear distinction. There's a clear distinction between merger and acquisition. Merger and Toby or acquisition buy. And with acquisition, it can be that you are buying the whole company, one company buying the whole company of let's say A buying B wholly, or A buying part of what can be shared, right? Can be shared, or it can be something that is more fascinating that they want. Then they will buy from what B. That is what. An arm's length deal where one company purchases the shares of another company. The acquired company is no longer the owner of it. So the moment A purchases B, the owners of B, they cease to be owners of what? That company. Because it has been bought, it has been acquired wholly, unless a part was bought. You get it? Where that A can become what? A shareholder, and is still what? Part owner of that company. And I know that there are so many companies to that effect. So acquisition is where a company purchases a plant or an asset or entire company, and it becomes theirs. And the owners of that company cease to become what owners, because the company and the if you're not with them, going forward and not stay there again, you have to leave. If I see you still hovering around that area, I can call for your arrest, because that company is not yours. Because you are 12 months. But I said, a top part of it there, still you can see them there. Is it clear? Jesse, I can one.
No, mute this session.
One a friend Jesse, I'm meeting now. All right. I think I've. The target by buying is what? If they want to become part of they want to become part of your company, they buy a percentage of a share in your organization, so that they can also take day-to-day what administration of what organization. Unless that, but to some extent is debatable. If the company has decided not to allow anyone buy their company, even though they are running into administration, get to a point whereby we need to use force, friendly manner, sell your gas, you use coercive, use force you to buy what, like to sell you what. So the acquirer buys shares from the target shareholders up to a point where it becomes. They look at the vulnerable people within the organization that are ready to sell their shares. They go there, they contact them, and they pay off you pay them that they can leave. Like what happened to Arsenal football. When Alicia was also part of it. Pastor Monkey said to become part of the football team. One of, to some extent, sold the shares in Stan Kroenke. So now Stan Kroenke is the full owner of Arsenal football. It's more or less like what happened to Chelsea football. When Abramovich was forced to sell Chelsea to what? To, is it Boli or who? So now Boli, who is American, who is now the owner of what Chelsea football. It's more or less like Manchester City. When the initial owners were finding very difficult to run it, they had to find a way of what? To Nasser El Khalifa be able to run a company. And sometimes it's good to sell. Because when they sold Manchester City to Khalifa, Nasser El Khalifa, now you could see that Man City as a football team is running what? Very, very well. Performance of Man City is up there. But it's only Manchester United that they are now wobbling in the wilderness. But it shall be when the acquirer, the one who wants to buy something, decide to buy share partly or whatever wholly, they become owners of that one. And different countries have different laws, regulations when it comes to what target ownership. Ghana, our own is different. Go to America, it's also different. And like I was saying, acquisition can be friendly. It can also be what? Hostile. Friendly in the sense that you come in a friendly manner, in a gentle way. If I say a tall company, you want to buy your company, sell it to us. That is a friendly manner, the formal way. Became like a lamb. Sell your company to us. But in some instance, you not come as a lamb, right? Become like a lion. Use force on you to sell your product, your company to me. If you don't use it, then whatever method I have, I will use it because I have the power. The power from above for Nibino. So I'm out on company. So here, acquisition can be friendly or hostile. And in the case of friendly acquisition, the target is willing to be acquired. For this one, became in a friendly manner. And the opposite is also true. When we come in a friendly manner and you don't do that, in a more hostile way, where we are going to use force so that you sell off your company to us. And when I agree, not the true airborne, any because when you're watching so bad, and when James, you know the effect. All these are readable. Any question? Benjamin.
Sir, please, I want to find out in acquisition, when you buy the company,
okay,
do you have to maintain the name of the company or you have the right to change the name? For as you said, Man City and stuff, when they bought the team,
yes,
the name was still there.
Everything.
So can the original owner of the team says, okay, if you want to buy whether hostily or friendly, change the name that I place it on it. Can the owner do that?
That one is based on a contractual agreement. Ben.
Okay.
You get it? It's based on the agreement, based on the acquisition terms. Because So now all turn right?
Yes.
Meaning you are ready to sell everything.
Okay.
So sometimes people also buy name. They buy the brand name. Omoto. Like Chelsea, for instance. Like Chelsea Football Club. Stamford Bridge is not for them. You get it? If I get my facts right. And the moment they decide not to play at Stamford Bridge, the name Chelsea will change. Because that name is for someone and they are using it. I think you can do your research on that. I don't know whether it has changed, but that's what it were previously. So you can also make your research that effect. You get it? Because what I know is that the moment Chelsea Football Club decide to move away from Stamford Bridge, the name Chelsea, they cannot use it again. Because that was the agreement when they were purchasing that, when they were going into that agreement. So some people may decide to maintain the name based on the agreement, contractual agreement, but others too, therefore I have to change everything. Because the person, Johnson and Johnson, I'm going to use Johnson and Johnson. You also want to come out with your own name. Unless otherwise you want to use the existing name. And that one is based on agreement between the two parties. Ernest.
Please, I want to ask, can someone like purchase your company without you giving your consent, and the government will allow
the line clear.
Your company? Hello, sir.
Ernest.
Please, I want to ask, can someone buy your company without you giving your consent, and the government will allow the person to buy your company?
Hello, sir.
Okay.
Hello, sir.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, talk to me.
Yes, he's trying to say that can someone purchase your company without the owner's consent? That is what I heard him saying.
That is where you use force, right? When you have the powers. When you don't know the orders from above. And it happened. And it's happening in Ghana, right? In Ghana, when will be that? Andy.
Sir.
Have you seen some before?
Not
in Ghana, where people are using force to acquire people's properties.
Sir, who be that?
So in the early 80s and 90s, you get it.
Okay.
Even in current terms, people are using force just from above to buy people's company. Kill you. So people are using force to acquire people's properties. They have the powers. I say amount for if you baby I will build in this now. It's me back the car Joseph the person me told dino. Upa then you be better you. Maybe I don't be up for any edge my. So when they come in a friendly manner, unless they also so powers now also will crown us also. If you don't have those powers, what are you going to tell you order from above. Above is you wanted that. I want above order from above. This in the that. So people may come in a friendly manner, others will come in a hostile manner. When they come in a friendly manner, why don't you sell it and take your money and go somewhere? Because you cannot fight them. Fight them. Yeah. So all the acquisition types, no, we buy them either partly or wholly. You get it? For example, vertical acquisition, like I was saying, vertical measure. Vertical measure is where A, B, C come together in the production line. Each party can produce different components to come out with a definite product. But here, a vertical acquisition is where a company acquires either a supplier or a distributor operating either upstream or downstream in its supply chain. And when we are talking in supply chain, when you hear of upstream, we're talking about from the suppliers base, and downstream is from the customers along the chain. That is upstream and downstream. The movement of something from the supplier, from the upstream to the downstream. That is from the suppliers, from the distributors, from who? Their final consumers or customers. So because we want to control, they have control over everything. Therefore, they will come and purchase something from you. You get it? It's more or less like an ice cream company buying milk from a dairy farm across town. It could acquire the farm to Obawa or because the person winning in a and now I mean Tony in a crowd. They know an agreement. I want to purchase certain parts of that company. So that when you produce the milk, you give it to me. And we also use for ice cream. And there are multiple reasons why companies opt for vertical acquisition. Because first, it's easier to acquire a company than to build a new one. Because coming out with a new company is a different thing altogether, and it's very difficult. So why don't I buy existing company, like someone who is into cattle rearing? The one often akwenye omunana. I didn't even tell you when you need a often on a bezame told me morning. And I said, maybe some didn't see Kabil wrap your way in. That cattle they produce the milk, give the milk to me, and I also go and sense the milk something else. That is vertical acquisition, because you cannot produce alone. Okay. Cannot produce alone. You get it. People, you need what? You need something from some people to be able to come out with a definite or a given product. That is vertical. Horizontal acquisition, because you are also competing with me. Ernest, once I was wrong. Okay. Like the horizontal one, since you are in the same league with me, and the competition that we are facing is very tough. There is a whole lot of competition. Two companies. Use force or come in a friendly manner. That is what I want to do. So you are so I'll come there because of the direct competition that I have with you. Because the competition is direct. We are in the same organization, we are in the same industry. Let's confess, we are in the same industry. And we are competing on the same front. So I want to come to you and buy shares from you, buy part of your company so that I'll become owner of, or possibly buy the whole company. That is where when I come and you have decided to sell the company to me, I will use force. You can use a white knight. A white knight is a solicitor, can be a lawyer. Go for a lawyer on court. In fact, the purpose of a horizontal acquisition is to increase market worth, eliminate competition is one, gain economies of scale, or expand the company's product or service offerings within the market within the same. For example, when Facebook acquired Instagram, it was horizontal acquisition. Both were social networks for people to connect, share, and promote themselves. At Yajawa, many companies in Koso, you have some strategies that is working perfectly well for you. Remember about the process room, announcement to me, I have money. Yet you pay. You get it. So that is horizontal acquisition. The same, they are in the same industry, the same league. But the purposes of what comes also to increase customer base and produce on a larger scale, enjoy economies of scale, or come and buy part. Then we go back to the definition of acquisition. That says someone or a company will buy parts. It can be assets, it can be plants, or will buy whole in the sense that the entire company, that person will buy it. The acquirer will acquire it from the acquiree. That person can come in a friendly manner, postal form. Then we have the conglomerate. That is where they are from a different industry or different portfolio. One decides to acquire it. These are and market extension, the same thing. Then product extension. So let's look at the process, how it takes. The mergers and acquisition process involves strategic planning, identifying the target company based on specific criteria, perform evaluation and negotiation of the process. So look at the MA process, and it involves a strategic plan. Or then, or 15 years or first, you have to do an assessment. You have to identify something. You have to identify the person that you want to marry. After identification, you assess. You have to subject the lady to so many criteria. We have a criteria to subject the lady to that. Then you perform some evaluations on that person. You get it. Then, having done all these things, go through a negotiation table with that person. Negotiation, what I mean is be an agreement between both parties that we have decided to marry, have decided to work together. The process typically involves developing an acquisition strategy and evaluating what potential targets, like I said, making contact, performing detailed valuation analysis, and eventually integrating the two companies if the deal was completed. To be able to go through the measure and acquisition process, you need to go through certain criteria. You have to go through certain process to be able to do that. Because you need to know the kind of company that you want to merge or acquire. To do that assessment, to do some contact one or two people or do some evaluations on these work. The evaluation should be detailed what, or you cannot. If you are satisfied with that, On some company, they are into mezzanine financing and it's full of debt. Full of debt. So if you want to acquire that company, you do so at your own detriment. You have to assess that company. Will it be beneficial? The debt in the Australia, the debt in Australia, and I yet manageable. That one, if you buy, definitely you can what? You free all that for cost. If you don't do that analysis, in-depth analysis on that, you buy it, and at the end of the day, and what? Come something. Probably a cotton car, or man, assessment on the car. Yeah, and the car is same thing also happens to companies like that. So you have to do your assessment. One, you have to develop an acquisition strategy, define the business purpose for acquiring a target company, such as expanding product lines or assessing what. You have to do that assessment. And the goal is to enhance shareholder value by creating a combined entity that have value than the sum of it. So you do all these assessments. And the second one, you set search criteria and set your target. And the third one is perform initial contact and valuation analysis. Then conduct due diligence. And you negotiate and finalize the deal. Then you do post-acquisition integration. Final and the critical step is integrating the two companies' operation, culture, and systems to realize the expected synergies, strategic goals. The successful integration is crucial for the deal to achieve its intended value. You cannot go through the process anyhow. You have to systematically and chronologically do assessment from start to finish, from top to down, or from down to top. Whatever approach that you use, you need to assess that target company through valuation. Then when you do valuation and it's positive and significant, then you can say that now let's go to the negotiation table. Again, at the end of the day, it should be some distributive oriented kind of distribution, where it will be a win-win situation or a win-lose situation. The lose shouldn't come to your side. Go to them to get it because someone decided they want to sell, or they have decided to sell part of it. So you have to win. It is different from when they are using force. Get it? Because force, why is what they penny at them penny as them. Get it? So let's look at some of the reasons for acquisition. The first one is economies of scale. Some people go into mergers and acquisitions just to increase our production, just to enjoy this, just to get access to operational equipment or machinery, able to produce on a larger scale, and also to eliminate competition. Because we are in the same industry, competition will be tough for me. Therefore, let me merge with you, or let me acquire your company to reduce the level of competition, or to do away with it. Also for better financial planning, since these people is the financial company and the way they have streamlined their finances, I love it. Therefore, why don't I go there and learn one or two things? Merge with them so that they teach me. Also learn something to be able to also calm them. When I stand in isolation to do my things and also improve my financial performance. We also have synergy. When two or more companies come together to use or to benefit from each other. When I want, I can go to your company at any time, enjoy your facilities. It can be logistics. I can use your transport. You can also use my transport. I can use your facility. You can also use. I can call upon workers to come and do something for me. Same thing. That is synergy. And also, when companies also want to go into diversification, moving or shying away from their existing product, they want to go into a new venture or area. they can also merge, or they can also acquire that company. Once or milk there, or person or the shoe company never Canada to our top owns the same brand one year you see, and also want to increase what revenue. Get it, because the more customers that we get, the more revenue we generate. So that is one thing that people also want. And also, when we want to penetrate new market, like the market extension measure. I mean, I'm at Togo. You're also in Ghana. I want to penetrate. I want to count your market. You get it? So let me go and buy your company so that I can also penetrate there. That is, you can see measure and acquisition. And access to new technology. When I don't have the capacity to acquire new technology, I can merge with you or equally acquire part of it. Be able to get access to this new article. And you have rationalization. When you put all your arsenals together, you're able to function efficiently. Sometimes you may not have the resources to do that. If you merge with other companies, you'll be able to put all your resources together and that of that person that you can be able to function. Also consolidation of extended capacity, overall cost reduction, protection of competition arrival, and obtaining resources out for future strategy. So these are some of the reasons that I consider. Any question? The rest there, I think they are readable. Any question? Any question? For all what you must know. All what you must know. And all what you must know is that measures when they swear to or more companies, they come to be able to become owner of that company. And there are so many implications, regulations, and there are regulations guiding measures and what based major rule. You go to America, their regulations are different. Get it? Sometimes they forbid measures and what, especially when one company decides to apply that company using. So that is where they brought the antitrust law, just to allow the infant what companies to also reduce necessary what competition. You get it? Antitrust law or competitive law. So the Americans, they use the antitrust, the UK use the competitive. But I can ask you a very simple question. What is the difference between antitrust law and competitive law? What is the answer? What is the answer? What is the difference between antitrust law and competitive law? And the answer is that they are the same. That is the answer. I think last year I brought this question, and some people are writing rubbish. And the answer was no difference. That was the answer. Because the Americans, they use the antitrust law. The UK, they use the competitive law. And they are the same, no difference. You get it? So there are regulations and the implications of these regulations on what MA. We have antitrust and competitive law. These regulations, they enforce that. They enforce that promote competition and prevent creation of what monopolies or unfair market dominance through what measures. Since you have the capacity, you have the money, you have the mandate, you have the strength to do whatever you want to. Therefore, you want to buy all the companies. The laws of America forbid that. The laws of UK forbid that. But I don't know of Ghana. Ghana measures and acquisition the entire. So they came out with these laws that if you allow measures and acquisition to go on, it will kill the infant firms that are trying to come. And Americans, they believe in what competition. The UK, they believe in what competition, but abnormal kind of competition. They don't want obnoxious kind of what competition. They want fair competition. They want every firm to compete on a fair ground. You get it? So they designed this law to ensure that there's a fair competition within the environment. And we have the regulatory approval where you need to go and seek for these approvals. These people will be able to. So you have exchange and there are regulatory and so carry them. So conclusion, it's important for companies engaging in M&A activities to carefully that in advance can lead to legal challenges, financial penalties, delays in completion, delays in due completion, or even the cancellation of the transaction. Seeking legal counsel, conducting due diligence regarding regulatory implications are essential steps the M&A put. So some jurisdictions they prevent mergers and acquisition, especially acquisition. Don't allow that to happen because they reduce the level of what M&A. They reduce that. To go on the government or one of the sticker abolition, just to also that is how you see whole business come. Because the job for companies in running them because utilizing the system. And America, they don't want it that. Ghana societies to get it. So they find a way to regulate some of the regulate the M&A process. Any question? Right. Let's move on. Yeah, finishing. Here, right? Let's go to venture capitalist. Venture capitalist. And who is a venture capitalist? Who is venture capitalist? You know a venture capitalist, Benjamin?
Sir.
Have you heard of a venture capitalist before?
No, please.
Please, nice one. When I'm in body, Benjamin.
Sir.
Have you heard of a venture capitalist before?
So I said no.
No.
Yes, please.
Okay. Cindy. Have you heard of venture capitalism before?
Yes.
No. Last year or so, I came out with a question. What is the difference between venture capital? What is the difference? That was the question I asked. what is the difference between a venture capitalist and a venture capitalist? So a venture capitalist is of a private equity. An account for equity, I say it's custom home. They're talking about money issues. It's a private, like Cindy would say, a private investor. And a type of finance that investors provide to start up what companies. So Cindy, you can also become a venture capitalist. That capitalist is an individual, right? It's a private individual, a private investor that gives money. And the company that they give money to, they are emerging or upcoming companies. You get it? So that have generated what ideas, come out with proposal. They want to put them into reality. These private what? Invested venture capitalists, they provide private equity or a type of finance supports the upward organizations or companies. They target them. They target these companies or in small business. In the long term, it will grow. They believe that they have that belief. They have that perception that when they invest their money into such businesses, that business has a long-term growth. There's that potential out there. You see that in the coming years, this person will become a potential person. So any venture that you engage yourself in, but they are looking at the potential, the long-term. When you present your idea to them or your proposal to them, they look at it. They see that proposal that you have generated, the profitable venture, and maybe because that person has been in business for so many, they have experience when it comes to helping this business. So that is a venture capital. And another definition is a form of private equity finance that is provided by venture capital firms. So it can be individuals, it can also be firms, private firms. Yeah, somewhere. And I know some of you are working in those firms. You get it. You're an institution somewhere. You give out loans. If this is not the mad business, that is provided by venture capital firms or funds to start ups, early stage and emerging companies that have been deemed to have a high growth potential or which have demonstrated high growth in terms of numbers of employees, annual revenue, or scale of what. For these people, they have a third eye that you don't have. They assess your business and they assess your idea generation, the proposal that you have. When they see that idea that you have generated into a business is having or will have a long-term growth, they will invest their money. They don't mostly invest their money in a high risk. No, they don't do that. Because if they invest their money in a high risk area, there is a possibility or the tendency of them losing their money invested. No investor wants to do that. Because investors are there, they want to what? Increase their wealth, get something in return. If they see that your company is one of the companies that is what? Is to high risk, they will not invest them, will not even encourage that. But when they see that it has potential, it has a long-term potential growth, using their third eye, then they can invest their money in that. It can also grow large extent. That when you are generating revenue and maximizing profits, increasing your markets, they know that you can pay them as what interest. That is that venture capital. And these are all definitions. And who is a venture capitalist? Like I said, they are private equity. They just invest their money. But a venture capital is the money, the private equity. A venture capitalist is a private equity investor. That provides capital to companies with high growth potential in exchange for an equity stake. Because nobody will invest their money without necessarily getting something in. When you invest your money, automatically you need something in return, in addition to the principal that you have invested. That company now do they be running losses. And it means that you are losing your investment, and no venture capitalist will do. Because investor Biano wants something. That is what investors do. So a venture capitalist is someone, private equity investor, that invests in an upcoming early stage or small business that has the potential, high growth potential at the end of the day. Because for sure, now going to me and swabba on fantasy carrying. You get it? They are very key. So let's see their rules of venture capitalists. One, yes, Cindy.
Okay, so say venture capitalists, so they are shareholders, right? Anna.
And how do you define that?
So as they are investing in the company, no?
It is not.
Doesn't that make them as shareholders?
If they invest their money, mostly, and let's say if the company is not floating shares. If the company is not floating shares, so they invest. Yes, ABR. From the little accounting that you've learned and the finance that you've learned, some people say yes. But from where I'm also standing, I can also argue on a different front, right?
Okay.
Some people will say yes, others will say no. And it is cause for debate. Because what we know is that when a company flows shares, because when you do MBO, market management buyouts, when the owners of the company decide to sell the company, they sometimes float shares. You get it? To allow their managers to come and buy the company or buy shares. But sometimes you cannot call them shareholders. Their fund is out, but they are not, because they are private equity investors. They invest. They don't buy shares, they invest their money. Somebody, to some extent, the word is to some extent, can also term them as shareholders, because they also come to buy shares in your company. You get it? But we are not interested in the shareholding aspect. They are interested in what? They investing their resources into your organization. And here we are looking at we are looking at emerging one companies that are coming up. You get it? Companies that are coming up, and they think that those companies have the potential, long-term potential to grow. What a company putting interest. They are looking at companies, small businesses that are not like you. Go to them that this is the company that you are coming out with. Can they help you invest their money into your business? You get it? They are investors. They are top people, private people. They don't want to come and buy shares, one fashion, but they want to invest in your business. You get it? To be able so that your company will stand on its feet, enhance performance, improve the financial possibilities, so that in the end they will get their money. They also get something in return. Money plus interest, so that they can also increase their wealth. And the company, you are creating value for them. You get it? Cindy, is it clear?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Good. So they invest in what? Look at the roles very well. They invest in new what companies, not a company floating. They invest in what new. So when there's a new generation, idea generation, when somebody sits somewhere and generates ideas, put them into proposals, start something, then go to them that now start company and you need financial what? Stability. You want to invest more money into them, but your strength is not there. Therefore, can you borrow me or come and invest in money in my business? Can you give me money to add up to my existing money to be able to grow? And your 50 has no this kind of thing. No lender will do that. They will come and assess your company first. The person be able to pay plus the interest. If the person will not be able to do that, why then do you have to give your money to the person? They look, go back to the definition. You realize that it's a long-term potential growth. You have that vision. You have that vision when it comes to that. Our rental business memoir is nothing to write home about, and they will not do that. And one, in as much as they are providing private equity, they also give what? Business expertise, because they have the knowledge, they have the skills, they have that resource in them to be able to advise you on one or two things as to where you are supposed to invest your money, where you are supposed, what product you are supposed to produce, what service you are supposed to render. They give you that idea, they give you that expertise. It is their job. And sometimes they are also financial terms, and they give advice when it comes to how to manage your finances or your funds. There are some people, some companies, they don't know how to manage their financial objectives. Therefore, you need such people to be able to manage that for you. They manage funds for that they manage their funds because they have the financial expertise to be able to do that. The last but not the least, close an investment for you. An investment that they think that will not yield any positivity, that will not bring any positive things to you. That is always bringing what's negative. Or any investment that is not adding up. An investment that is always on the move. that is not helping you. You are always losing your money. You are not adding something to it. You are not performing well. That investment will give you expertise that will address that. They will close that investment. You get it? So they will terminate it. It's a risk. It's a risk to you because that place is a high risk and you have invested your money. When you are not careful, you lose all your investment. So they terminate the risk for you. That investment into a closure. And they will, before they do that assessment on other possibilities, so that they will help you to invest your money. That will bring returns at the end of it. So these people, they are very, very important in our day-to-day activities as what organization. When you are at the early stage of our business, when you're near to come to, we don't know what to do. And that early stage, if you're not careful, you collapse your business. Business will not survive. You get it? When you are trying to push harder, you don't know the market well, you have not studied the market. You want to, by any other means, open or impressive people. It happens to most of the companies. Global Dream, God is here, and also God is love, whatever. Because they were pressing, wanted to do more. And they were opening branches. You get it? They didn't get financial experts to address one of all of these things for them. They were opening branches because I'm going to say a bank had the amount for the university. But who in business they look at the early stage. So we need financial experts. And these venture capitalists, they are there to give you financial or business ideas or when it comes to how to manage the financial aspect of your business or the entire business. They have that expertise. And that is their role. So fitting and I will come with the idea make a seminar. In companies be brave. A whole lot of companies that have lapsed. They cannot survive. They are not able to grow. They have become stagnated. It's because they have not expertise of these people. You get it? So they invest in you, provide business expertise, manage your funds for you. Where you are supposed to invest your money, where you are not supposed to invest your money, how to do your procurement issues, how to buy things, how to legalize your structures and everything. All of these things, they help you. And when investment is not yielding profits, they tell you that you need to close that investment. Because if you don't do that, at the end of the day, you are going to lose your money as you invest it. Come back to zero. But if you listen to them, to what? Grow your business to the level that you want to. And when you get to that height, they will tell you that now you can open what? Come up to subsidiary kind of what? Office in relation to the what? The original one. So these are the roles of what? Venture capital. Any question? Any question? Bianca. Listen, Obe Junior. Officer, talk to me. Samson, Meteo.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
My question is, are they to be considered as partners who should be consulted in case of decision makings?
Yeah, if you get to that level and they become partners because They have invested in their money. And then not Cindy, you are trying to dazzle around that. That are they shareholders? You get it? We are trying to dance around that too. So let's say they are shareholders. Shareholders, definitely they take decision, right? They are part owners of the organization. But here, if they are partners, cannot take decision without consulting them, right? Because they have invested their money into their business. And all of these, it boils down to the agreement, the consensus between the two. You get it? Because what do we invested, let me say, invest your money in a business. If I'm making decision, won't I consult you or call upon your presence to come and also say whatever you want to say? You get it? So if they are partners, you are partnering with them, definitely, whatever decision that you take, they are also part, and they also have their say. Is it clear?
The question was that are they to be considered partners? That is one thing.
That question that you are saying.
The explanation you just gave, they are more like an advisory body. So I just wanted to find out.
They are not always advisory body. Okay. If you invest your money in someone's business, who are you?
You made a point that it depends on the agreement. So they don't directly become partners. It depends on the agreement.
Good. So sometimes, so to that extent, you can look at it in two folds, right?
Okay.
You can look at it in two folds. Like you taking your product to, let's say your thing is a private equity investor, and you go to Kwekwote. Is it Kwekwote, right?
Yes, sir.
Kwekwote, after seeing your proposal and everything, decide to partner with you. You get it? That is one side. But when you go to Kwekwote will decide, no, I want to give you financial and whatever idea or expertise. That these are two separate things.
Yes, sir.
You get it? So one can be a partner to something, and one can also just give out financial advice.
Okay.
Is that clear?
Well understood, sir.
Good. In fact, our company now will be
yes, sir.
You're now coming up with something. Definitely, you'll be needing some advice. When you come to me, that is not partnership. Partnership is where two parties, they come together and agree in principle that this is what we want to do. We share profit equally, right? Based on the agreement of the partnership. That is what we'll be doing very soon. We call it business unit. So when they come together, we are combining resources together. And mind you, resources are not always money. Yes, you can any resource. If you look at the resource-based view theory, that talks about strategic resources that are valuable, rare, immutable, non-substitutable. It is not always about money. It can be knowledge, it can be skills, it can be experience, it can be competence, it can be anything. So when I give you that expertise, it's a resource where you can translate them to financial performance. Is it clear? But immediately you come to me for advice, I'm just offering you that advice that is expected. And it goes beyond what partnership. It can go into an agreement with me that I want you to manage my fund. And it happens everywhere. So we seek as a right? It's more or less like consulting a legal person to take up cases for you. That is how it works. Something, are you clear?
Yes, sir, very clear, sir.
Nice one. Any other question? Do you know me? Do you know me? Have you seen me before?
Yes, sir.
Oh, nice one. Nice one.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, you know you very well.
You know me very well.
Yes, last semester you took my paper. I couldn't finish the exam.
I took your paper.
Yes, sir.
I'm a hard man.
Yes.
Who react there? Paper now.
Say na me we are you. We are an assignment.
I think I know Abigail. I know Abigail. Abigail, why are you laughing? It's more than cool, was it? All right, any other question? If you have a question, you should ask. Question time. I don't want to add more topics. You focus on two. So any question you ask. If you have a question, you can ask me. No question. So we should close, right?
Sir.
Yeah.
If I got you right,
okay.
They do a projection.
Which people?
They do a projection to know the future of the company or the organization.
Yes, when they want
or
to
whatever business. Yes, sir. My question is, what if their expectations fails to come through?
Can I ask you a question?
Yes, sir.
Good. Onza abrabon bibi etimi si o so nim sir.
Yes, sir.
But best bia na ya on time e boni no. Ana meboa.
Very well.
Because of their experience in that area, if you heard me clearly, they have a third eye. I say, yeah, if I'm also exams, it means one month, moves a wound now, baby. If you want him, your sitting posture will determine a way will be. I as a police for it to me was where the answer occasion and another wish and home. One of us will use a drum, but that is based on what experience. And it's a resource that you cannot imitate. Is it clear? So let's go back to your question. What was your question?
So my question was, assuming you inject money into someone else's, you inject money into someone else's business, expecting that in the long run, or let's say the next 10 years, it is going to boom, and then it doesn't go that way. Is that person going to shoulder the money you injected as a debt or what?
I don't need it. I'm coming on.
Yes, sir.
Hello. If I heard you clearly, we are talking about risk factors, right? And the future is not clear. That anything can happen. And I was saying that investors be an investment and or being said, returns. Be anyone or be investor or any entrepreneur. That person is not entrepreneur. This person wants something before the person can invest his or her money into the business, the person do all the assessment, do all the visibility to attain, to know the ups and downs, to know the trend. There's something we call trend analysis. You do that trend analysis to know how the economy and everything, economic indicators, how they are. You win now, all these assessments. Consider the trend of the economy. You get it? Consider the risk factors. They do all these analysis before they can invest into that business. That is why it is always imperative to do research, to learn more, to upgrade yourself, to update yourself when it comes to the economic issues and its indicators. That is where the future becomes obscure. Once I bear mirage, but because the experience, no, I need you only know what tell say no. I know for sure that there are issues as time goes on. But I am looking at the potential growth. Anywhere, only by one for a year on your man, but the level of that risk as compared to the potential growth of the organization. If that is clear, because who said this person has the prospect, this person has the potential, but there are obstacles, and I know I can manage the obstacles to that effect. But in managing the obstacles, there are possibilities that I can still get my returns. They do that trend analysis. And I know some more operations management or whatever analysis, you do methods of forecasting and so on and so forth. Predicting into the future, estimating into the future to know what the demand will be and what the outcome will be. So they do all these forecasting. They know, do the trend, the challenges, the possibilities, the significance, whatever. So that evidence conclusion by saying that even though there will be some issues, but this organization, upcoming organization, has the potential. So in the long run, have I answered your question?
Yes, I answered, sir.
Any other? Ask your question. For those who just joined, we have treated two topics. We did measures and acquisition, venture capital. We did measures and acquisition. It's where two or more companies come together. About the types, the regulations. And now on venture capitalists, and the private investors that give money, equity to venture what? To early stage or upcoming businesses or emerging companies or small businesses that has the potential, high potential growth in the long run, that they can invest their money and get something in return. And they serve as what? Partners. They manage the funds of these organizations and also close investment where possible and necessary. So that's how it is. Any question? If no question, can we close? If no question, can we close?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
All
sir.
right. Shami, next week. Or will it?
All right.
Face to face, right?
Yes, sir. Face to face.
And sorry.